Ondo Finance is outperforming the rest of the market because now we've got an integration with traditional finance. DTCC has now moved tokenized assets on the Ondo chain. Here is the announcement on X. Ondo has launched the first tokenized stock representations based on DTC, tokenized entitlements. And of course, Ondo wants to get a share of that 4.7 quadrillion transaction volume cleared by the DTCC in the last year. Now, Ondo is a very complex ecosystem. They've got traditional borrowing and lending platforms. There's also Ondo Perps, so perpetual futures on the Ondo chain, a direct competitor to Hyperliquid. And while some people on Twitter are simply bullish because of the technical analysis, I think it's really the RWA, the real world asset narrative, that's going to push Ondo from here. By the way, if you are on X, formerly known as Twitter, then feel free to also follow the account of this channel. I publish data regularly over here. Make sure though that you follow the right account, so that's @BitcoinStrat. Please don't follow any fake account. My name is Gerhard. I've been in the crypto space for the last 8 years. I hit my first million 3 years ago, and it is mainly through active altcoin trading. My track record is on the website down below. In the last 2 years, I started to publish my trades in real time. We are currently at a new all-time high. If we include the open positions, we made 48% APR while the rest of the market crashed. And we did this mainly with relative valuation trades. So for example, we shorted NIR relative to Bitcoin. That was our latest win. But we also shorted Trump. We shorted Luna Classic. A lot of relative valuation trades that many others don't do. This whole trading history is published in real time on the website. Now, this is all the closed trades. Of course, for the open trades, that's available for the premium members. But the reason why I share this is to simply be transparent. I don't think that many people in crypto are willing to share their data like that. Now, here's the recent rally in Ondo. The price went up by 19%. But when we zoom out a little bit, we can see that we did not always go up, right? This is the recent rally. The very long-term average price, that's a dotted line over here, that's 59 cents. So that would imply, if you go back to that equilibrium, an appreciation of a bit over 60% from here. Now, is that the most likely scenario though? Because the problem with charts like this, US dollar denominated charts, is that they're very much impacted by the general market, right? When Bitcoin goes up, most altcoins go up as well. When Bitcoin goes down, most altcoins go down. So really what we should rather look at is at Ondo relative to the rest of the altcoin market. When is it outperforming? When is it underperforming? And since launch, it underperformed up until February of this year. Since then, we stabilized. And now we are in a sideways trading range. Why was Ondo's performance that bad at the beginning after launch? Why did it underperform the rest of the altcoins by 67%? The reason, of course, is token inflation, as in there are more tokens hitting the market every year, and those vesting unlocks, they get sold off over time. And if the demand doesn't outgrow the supply, then of course the token has to go down. At least relatively speaking, right? There can always be rallies when the rest of the market appreciates as well. So what does that mean going forward? 1 year from now, we will have 40% more Ondo tokens floating. We'll have the very same kind of unlock the subsequent year, and then afterwards, things will slow down. In 2009, all of Ondo tokens will be unlocked. Until then, the supply will almost double. So we are currently a bit over 5 billion. The max is at 10 billion. So yeah, I think Ondo is the major cryptocurrencies in the real world asset space. So where we connect traditional finance like Wallstreet with crypto. We've got tokenized treasuries. We've got now tokenized stocks as well. And that's expanding, right? We've got Ondo Finance announcing a partnership with SBI Group. So that's now Japanese stocks hitting the Ondo chain. I do think that the statement by the CEO of SBI is true. Ondo is indeed the global leader in tokenized real-world assets. The problem, of course, is that the token does trade with attention, as in the price goes up when many people are bullish, the price goes down when not so many people are bullish. And currently the attention is very high, right? This is the bar chart in the background. When the attention fades and moves to another asset, then at least short term, the price can definitely decline as well. There are now more than 200,000 holders of the token on the Ethereum chain. But it's not necessarily the spot market that moves the price, at least in the short term, because we had 31 million worth of trading volume on the spot market. Compare that with the perpetual futures market, more than 200 million. So 7x the trading volume. People used to be very bullish on Ondo. The funding rate was positive. There were way more longs than shorts. That has become much more neutral recently. The funding rate is neither heavily bullish nor very bearish. Still, the amount of bets that are placed on the asset very much correlates with the price. So that's open interest, how many bets are made on the perpetual futures, on the Ondo price. When this is high, then there's a lot of short-term leverage. When this is low, there's not so much short-term leverage. We are currently not that elevated. So if more people bet on the Ondo price again, then we could very much appreciate from here as well. And then Ondo could potentially break out of this sideways trading range. Now, as usual, I've done a back test. I tried to figure out how can we best trade Ondo. So this time it's Ondo relative to Ethereum, because a lot of Ondo tokens are on the Ethereum chain. The best moving average combination is the 14 plus 17 day simple moving average. That brings an annualized performance of 181% versus just 37%. So we are looking for the best death cross and the best golden cross. Currently, unfortunately, the shorter term moving average is below the longer term. So according to the simple trend follower, we should rather be cautious. As in, we got the death cross on the 18th of June. And yes, Ondo since then tended to rather decline. This kind of trend following strategy does work pretty consistently over time, right? Just have a look at the strategy curve at the bottom. So we've got the Ondo price at the top, again with those best moving averages, and we've got the strategy equity curve at the bottom. So at least for short-term trading, it does make sense to look at those two moving averages very closely. The 17 and 14 day SMA, that's now for Ondo relative to ETH. So how does Ondo Finance outperform Ethereum? Again, the reason why we look at that relative performance is because a lot of the spot holding happens on the ETH chain. So that's in general how I set up my trades, right? I try to figure out what are the best trading rules and then I follow them. That's why the long-term performance looks the way it does. Every single trade here can be verified with those timestamps. So there are announcements in Telegram, but they're also sent out via email. And for example, over here, we shorted the Trump token. It tended to long-term underperform. And then subsequently, we closed that position once we hit the lower end of that trading range. So those are the kinds of trades that I like to do. It doesn't work for every single trade, but it tends to work long term. Now, I cannot share the trades that are currently open because again, that's for premium. But in the pinned comment down below, there is this website over here. So there is one free premium trade, a trade that I currently hold, that the vast majority of the community holds as well. A trade that I believe will continue to make money, and you can get that trade either sent to you via Telegram. You can also scan this QR code. Alternatively, you can also get this via email. Just plug in your email here. Then you get the trade, so the setup. You will also get a tutorial video that explains how to set this all up. Because again, we want to trade on relative variations. How does one asset perform against another asset? And cancel out the general macro environment. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time. Cheers.